against Glen Healy that night, sending the Islanders into a 5-18-3 tailspin that would land them in last place. But things started looking up on November 30th at Chicago when Ken Baumgartner and Jiggs McDonald made their debut. Baumgartner added much-needed toughness, and McDonald proved right away that he could find the net. The result, the Islanders went on a 23-6-3 tear that took them to the top of the Patrick Division. That streak culminated with Randy Wood's dramatic overtime winner against the Boston Bruins on February 10th. But little did the Islanders know that they were about to board the roller coaster again for a ride back down to the bottom of the Patrick Division. They would win only 2 of their next 21 games. But fortunately for them, one of those wins came Wednesday night against the Toronto Maple Leafs. A 5-goal third-period outburst led to a 6-3 win, and miraculously kept the Islanders' slim playoff hopes alive. A loss by Pittsburgh, combined with an Islander victory tonight, would give the Islanders the last playoff spot in the Patrick Division. They'll be looking for that win against the Philadelphia Flyers. Coming up next, right here on SportsChannel. Live from the NASSAU Veterans Memorial Coliseum in Uniondale, New York, SportsChannel presents New York Islanders hockey. Tonight, the Islanders take on the Philadelphia Flyers. Hi again, everyone. I'm Jiggs McDonald with Ed Westfall and Stan Fischler. I don't need to tell you, the building is alive. This may be the playoff game, the only playoff game, perhaps for both teams. Perhaps for one, perhaps for nobody. It's all in the hands of 3 Patrick Division teams and the outcome of tonight's games.
Gosh, you'd wonder at them battling for 6th place in this hockey game, wouldn't you? The place is going to be jam-packed. The people are on their feet. They're screaming already. And it is. It's just that. It's the 80th game. That's why they put it in the schedule. That's why the players get paid for 80 games, because you just might need it. And both teams need it. What a great deal for the fans.
Here's the reason it's needed. A look at the standings. Philadelphia with 2 games remaining. Islanders and Pittsburgh each playing their last game of the season tonight. Pittsburgh 32 wins, 72 points. Islanders 30 wins, 71 points. Philadelphia 30. And here is the way it shakes down. If the Islanders win and Pittsburgh loses, you know the story. But if Pittsburgh wins, they're in. If they tie, they're in unless Philadelphia wins tonight and tomorrow. If Pittsburgh loses, they can still get in, provided the Islanders lose or tie tonight and the Flyers do not get more than 2 points over the weekend. And the Islanders have to win. If they win and Pittsburgh loses, the Islanders go to the playoffs. If they lose or tie, they're out, regardless of what Pittsburgh does. And Philadelphia, with its opportunity, if they lose and they get a win and a tie in their, if Pittsburgh loses and Philadelphia gets a win and tie in their 2 games, they are in the playoffs. If Pittsburgh ties tonight, then Philadelphia has to win both tonight and at home tomorrow against Detroit in order to win. And if they lose tonight or tomorrow, it's automatic. There's no tomorrow. They're out.
Wouldn't it be nice if you had more of these? I mean, it would. It'd be great for the fans. They're loving it, soaking it up. And, of course, with the Islanders in the position to still be able to do something for themselves. It'll be interesting if this game is a tie going late in the hockey game.
In your opinion, from an Islander standpoint, what is the key? What do they have to do better than the Flyers to win?
They've got to play the same hockey game they beat the New York Rangers with, Jiggs. They've got to start this hockey game with the enthusiasm that I think they do have, although Philadelphia can do something about that. But the Islanders can dictate right now. They're at home. They've got to put on the show for 60 solid minutes, and they can't take any of those stupid penalties. They've got Tim Kerr on the other power play, even though it's only ranked 14th.
Stan Fischler is in our studio. Stan, I'd like to get your thoughts from the Philadelphia side of things. What's the key for them? What do they have to do better than the Islanders?
Well, what they have to do is play the way they did at the Spectrum against Washington. That is, do everything possible to win the hockey game, and that is play Philadelphia-style hockey. Come out like gangbusters, intimidate, which they do very well. Tim Kerr has got to camp around the crease during the power play. And, of course, Ron Sutter, the captain, has got to do everything that he can with his stick that's legal. Jiggs, Eddie?
Philadelphia is banged up, Stan. We know the goaltending problems in particular. Pete Peters has only one win this season. He's in the nets for the Philadelphia Flyers tonight. I don't know if that's a big key factor or not, but in the past, the Islanders always did well in games that Peters played.
Yes, he does not have a good record against the Islanders, and in big games it's even worse, Jiggs. But the one thing they've got going is that Peters played well, even in the 2-2 tie against the Washington Capitals.
So, 80th game of the season for the New York Islanders. A must-win situation against the Philadelphia Flyers, and will be ready for the opening face-off following these messages.
New York Islanders.
The electricity continues to roll through the NASSAU Coliseum as you look at Pete Peters. The record, as we mentioned, only one win. That was via a shutout. 12 losses, 5 ties. His career record against the Islanders, 11, 13, and 4 with a 3.62 goals against average. 4th consecutive start for Mark Fitzpatrick. A chance to get to 500 on the season with a win for the Islanders tonight. And against Philadelphia, he is 0-2-1 this season with a 3.73. Bill McCreary will referee the game. Ron Asseltine and Kevin Collins are the linesmen assigned by the National Hockey League. You know the story on the season. Philadelphia Flyers have beaten the Islanders 4 of the 6 games played. The other 2 have ended in ties. Philadelphia has outscored the Islanders 29-20. And as we get set for the opening draw, Brent Sutter faces off against Ron Sutter. Volek on the left, Flatley on the right for the Islanders. Diddick and Baumgartner on defense, and immediately the puck played down into the Islanders zone off Fitzpatrick's stick, and it's taken by Gerald Diddick. Diddick giving it to Flatley, tried to go cross ice. Puck seemed to bounce on him, and David Volek just overled Flatley on right wing. Chasing it back is Murray Barron, the Flyer defenseman. The youngster is checked, and Flatley hidden into the corner, now tries to get away from Ron Sutter. Puts it around the end boards. Diddick pinching in, trying to center one. Flatley with it behind the net, puts it in the goal mouth, and Peters comes diving out to cover the puck, and there's no further play.
The Philadelphia Flyers win the first face-off, put it in the Islanders' end of the ice, but it did not take long. Back come the Islanders. Flatley, he's the guy they want out there. He's good along the boards, in the corners, from behind the net. He puts it out in front. It's off the skate of Murphy. Peters off. He had lots of chances to unload it, but he opted to hang on. That's a good sign for the Islanders. He's being cautious already. Let's go, Buffalo. And if you've been living in a cocoon lately, Buffalo is playing Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh, the game is just underway. Malarchuk against Barrasso. The matchup in goal in that hockey game.
Now you see that Pat LaFontaine has come out for the New York Islanders. Derek King is on the left side. Derek Laxdal is on the right wing. The Flyers break out of the zone. Here's Eklund dropping the puck back. Over the line with it is Lotto to Kerr. Shoots, he scores! Tim Kerr puts it through the pads of Mark Fitzpatrick.
That's a big goal. He's the dangerous guy, Tim Kerr. His size, a presence in itself. His shot, it was not that hard, but it was very accurate. He spotted the place between the feet of Mark Fitzpatrick. Here's the drop pass. Kerr takes it in his skate, let it go. I think that hit the defenseman, Doug Crossman. His 24th goal of the season. Tim Kerr, the big right winger, just 40 seconds into the hockey game. Reminds me of the 7th game in Philadelphia. The Islanders had come back and tied it at 3-3 in the series, and that's what Gary Dornhofer did to Chico Resch and the Islanders.
Or reminds me, perhaps, of the game the other night in St. Louis when Pittsburgh scored early and quick. 2 of them, as a matter of fact, and ended up losing the game. But in his 40th game of the season, Tim Kerr has taken the Flyers to a lead 40 seconds into the game. Model and Eklund got the assist. And now Derek King is down on the ice, injured just in the center ice stripe. See the pain. It would appear that the stick maybe caught him on the right cheek.
Samuelson's heading for the penalty box. That's a good sign for Philadelphia. It's just 2 minutes for high sticking. What a bad penalty for him to take. What an opportunity the Islanders have here with a power play to tie it up. What a bigger opportunity they'd have had if Samuelson had drawn blood. 1, he'd have been out of the game, and 2, the Islanders would have had a 5-minute uninterrupted power play. That is not the case, though. It's 2 minutes for high sticking, and that was away from the play.
There's your goal scorer in the middle of the picture, his 24th. Tim Kerr, and here's the way the goal was scored.
Here's the drop pass. Kerr takes it off his skate, let it go right away. That was Jari Laddell, the young defenseman, handing him the puck. He shot it right away.
Eklund will get the other assist on the goal.
Important here, Jiggs, that the Islanders don't change their game plan. They have to pretend that the goal didn't go in. They have to play the same way. They were taking the play at the time to the Philadelphia Flyers. Philadelphia breaking out quickly, and it was not a good shot. Not the kind of a goal that Mark Fitzpatrick had been giving up the last few games.
Now the Islanders with this power play, and Jeff Norton out on the left side. Feeds LaFontaine. He's over the Flyer line, trying to come in on goal. Got chased a little wide by Terry Karkner. Meantime, the puck goes to Sutter. It's knocked off his stick, and out come the Philadelphia Flyers. They're able to dump it in from the center ice zone. Chasing it back is Norton. Ron Sutter into forecheck for the Flyers, along with Tocchet. Norton's pass finds its way to Brent Sutter over the line on left wing, trying to move it on Chychrun. Sutter goes back of the net. Feeds Derek King into Sutter. Back to King. Crossman on the right point. Norton moves in off the left side as the pass went to Sutter. Puts it in the slot, and LaFontaine was knocked down. Ron Sutter on it quickly, and he shot it down the ice. 45 seconds has been eaten up in Samuelson's penalty for high sticking. Flyer penalty killing, as you see, ranked 6th overall in the National Hockey League.
They've scored 14 shorthanded goals also, Jiggs. The Islanders still ranked 3rd overall on the power play.
But not 3rd on home ice, only 14th. Out of 21 teams playing at home, 14th ranking for a team that is 3rd overall is a little strange. Tells you how good they are away from here, doesn't it?
Yes, and it matches up, of course, with the fact that the Islanders have won more games on the road than they have at home.
Now Norton holding the puck, steps over the Flyer line and dumps it to right wing. Karkner gets to it. 36 seconds left in the Flyer penalty. They force the Islanders back. Then only one shot on goal, and that, of course, was Kerr's goal at the 42nd mark. The Islanders without anything on Peters thus far. LaFontaine gets checked at center by Pelle Eklund. Eklund drops the puck off for Murphy, and he dumps it down the ice. Fitzpatrick out to handle it. Put it back in the net for Jeff Finley. Time for one more rush with his man advantage. Finley turns back from the checking of Acton. Now Norton comes off the boards. Little head movement to direct Finley up the ice. Pass off the skates of McDonald. He reaches over to knock it away from Acton. Samuelson is back on, so teams are at 6 aside. And no shot on goal for the Islanders with the power play. Gord Murphy, after his first effort was blocked, put the puck in the Islanders zone. There's Kerr feeding it in front of an off Acton. Sinisalo ties up Randy Wood in the corner. And Sinisalo comes up with the puck. Steps from back in the net. Plays it the other direction. There was nobody there. Kerr chases it. Tim Kerr bumped by Hubie McDonough. Norton is able to move it around the boards. Can't get it to Flatley. Now it comes off Barron's stick, and the Flyers recover at center ice. Gord Murphy with a pass that went through everyone. Maloney leaves it at the blue line for Patrick Flatley. He goes it down into the Flyer zone wide of Peters, and the teams are in the middle of changes here as Murphy comes up the right wing. Maloney steals the puck, steps over the line. Murphy can't check him. Maloney's feed is to Dinnick. He shoots. Pad save by Peters. McDonough knocks the rebound loose. Comes out of the corner with a pass to Rieke at the point. Lets one go that was blocked by Tocchet, and quickly the Flyers turn it up ice. Craven and Tocchet move it back and forth. That's Craven. Intended for Tocchet, but Rieke was there to intercept the pass. Can't clear the zone. Now he gets it outside the line for Don Maloney. Into the skates of Lakota. Ron Sutter has it for Philadelphia. To Jeff Chychrun. To Craven. Craven. Drop pass, but back in the center ice area. Fight is broken out. And quickly the linesmen step in between Karkner and Lakota before any damage is done. Little shadow boxing. But not a punch landed here. We're 4 minutes and 35 seconds into the opening period. Flyers lead 1-0. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on Sports Channel.
Mick Vukota for the Islanders. Terry Karkner for the Philadelphia Flyers. Penalties, I would think 2 minutes for high sticking.
And 2 minutes each for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Oh, 4 apiece. All right. There's the newly reacquired Ken Linsman. Came from the Boston Bruins. It's a very controversial trade about Dave Poulin going to the Bruins, and Ken Linsman coming back to the Philadelphia Flyers.
Flyers leading the Islanders 1-0. The teams are at 6 aside. Battle over the line, played it toward the corner, and Crossman is back. Brings it up the boards and out to center ice. The Flyers have it there. Ronald tries the near wing. That's the right side for Philadelphia. Mellanby moves up. Couldn't get to it in time. Now Samuelson plays it in deeper. Patrick leaves it back in the net as the Flyers get onside. Played 5 minutes of the opening period. Philadelphia leading 1-0 as Riki, who was +5 in the game at Toronto the other night, leads the pass to Brian Trottier. Comes over center ice, dumps it in. Randy Wood chases it. Tries a backhander up high and wide of Peters. Wood gets to it again. Left it in the corner. Trottier wheels it across, and there's LaFontaine, but a man right in front of him, Linsman, to break up the pass. Now Mellanby able to send Berube over the line. His shot is blocked by Fitzpatrick, and Crossman starts out on the right side, plays it off the boards, and at center ice it's Lottle, dropping it back to Samuelson. Tries a long shot high over the glass and up into the seats. 14:24 the time remaining in the opening period here at the Coliseum.
I'm sure Mark Fitzpatrick would love a couple of shots to handle. A couple of the shots that Paul Holmgren would be thinking about would be ones that he can't handle. Boy, what an electrical start here in this hockey game. He's coached 79 games, or is in his 79th game. Do you know that not one of the Philadelphia Flyers made it for 80 games? Haven't made it for 79.
Just looking at the number of man games lost by each of the Patrick Division teams. Now the Devils not nearly as high as some of the rest, but I think overall the most man games lost are by teams in the Patrick Division. You wonder why? Is it age? Is it ice? Is it?
Well, it can't be age. The Islanders, one of the youngest teams in the league. The Devils aren't that old. Washington, they've traded away 3 players that are 30 plus. Doug Crossman and David Volek are the only Islanders to play in all 80 games.
Where would the Islanders be without Doug Crossman this season? Wow.
Now, this is the 4th time now in his career that he's played all 80 games. Doug Crossman, that is.
Flyers give the puck away in their own end of the ice. Derek King gets pushed off it. It's right back on it. He and Murray Barron failed to tie it up.
That was Peters, Jiggs, that gave the puck away. He's had a history of that over the years, so if the Islanders can give Peters the puck and then apply some pressure, they may get it back.
Well, they got it right there. Good pass to Laxdal and a fine stop by Pete Peters. Now they set it up again, but the pass is behind the Philadelphia net. Laxdal took the man, Norton took the shot, and it's blocked, and Laxdal knocked the feet up from under Lacombe. Meantime, Acton brings the puck over the Islander blue line. Keith Acton centers one. Derek Smith pushed into the corner by Gronstrand, and the puck will go to Norton. Norton turned around by Lacombe's hit. All 3 Flyer forwards tight on the right wing boards. Now off goes Smith, and the pass got away from him. Lottle with a shot. Good save by Fitzpatrick. Gronstrand trying to tie up Keith Acton. Acton centers from back of the net. It's held in at the blue line. Lottle with it, pulling to the right side. Handles it well, doesn't he? Look at Lottle as he cuts in. Can't stuff it by. Then the rebound from Smith is under the pads of Fitzpatrick. Comes loose. Behind the net, Lottle feeds it out, and that's cleared aside by McDonald. Lottle lets it go again, and it's off the target. Islanders in trouble. Get out of trouble. And shooting at the length of the ice. Pete Peters wheels it up the boards. Down into the Islanders zone. There'll be no icing as Baumgartner hustles back for it. Both teams made some changes. Baumgartner overskated the puck, and it's brought out by LaFontaine down the right side. Over the Flyer line. LaFontaine chased behind the net. Checked there by Lottle. LaFontaine reaches in and knocks it away from Lottle. Maloney nudges it back in the net. Here's LaFontaine. He falls after that hit from Eklund. The puck's still loose. Maloney in after it, but it's turned to the right side for Samuelson. Shell Samuelson to Yuri Lottle. Up the left side, this pass bounces off Sinisalo. Back for it is Gerald Diddick. Diddick using the near boards has given it to Don Maloney. Wheels it into center ice, but a 2-line pass finding its way to Randy Wood, and play is called. The Flyers lead the Islanders 1-0, and you're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
Don't have to talk to some players to get them ready for a hockey game. I can guarantee you this one you don't have to say anything to. Look at Pat LaFontaine. He's got the afterburners going. He tries to get around and outside. Yuri Lottle. What a first, not quite half a period has Lottle had for Philadelphia.
Update in that game between the Penguins and the Sabres. Buffalo is on a 5-minute power play. A major penalty to Randy Gillen. He's out of the game. 2.5 minutes left in that power play. There is no score in that game. And here, Philadelphia leads 1-0. A little dispute about an icing call being made against the Islanders.
Randy Gillen, yes, he scored an overtime goal. Pittsburgh beat the Islanders back earlier in the season. Al Arbor, he's not thinking about anything but winning this hockey game. A tie is no good. It's going to be interesting, folks. Keep an eye on things as this game winds down. Should it ever be tied going into the late stages of the third period, it's going to be interesting. Paul Holmgren has to do some quick thinking. He's got somebody, I'll guarantee you, running scores to that bench in the third period. He's got to know, too, because a tie may not be any good for him either.
And the scores in the other game involving Buffalo and Pittsburgh will not be posted on the scoreboard here at the Coliseum tonight. I'm not sure if that's a positive or a negative. I think in some aspects it's a negative. I can understand the positive aspect, too. Baumgartner took a run at Tocchet, who moved away from him. The puck comes out to center ice. Raven trying to get it to Chychrun. It's stolen. Brent Sutter over the line. Runs into Jeff Chychrun. And Tocchet can't clear the zone on the initial effort. It bounces over Volek's stick and goes to Baumgartner, who dumps it back in. A little more than 11 minutes to play in the opening period. The forechecking of Flatley broke up the original attempt. Now Barron plays it to center ice, and here's Murray Craven. He and Tocchet across the line. Sutter to the front of the net for the Flyers, and it's right on. The rebound off the post as Tocchet got to it. Tocchet has it again, centers, and Baumgartner comes across the front of the net, but Craven had been spilled, and Flatley is going to go to the penalty box. Philadelphia getting their first power play chance. They lead 1-0. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
25-year-old Murray Craven moves the puck to the net. There's the save, the shot by Tocchet off the goalpost to the left of the goaltender, and a penalty by Volek. As Baumgartner clears it, you could see Volek pull the feet out from underneath Rick Tocchet. A power play to the Philadelphia Flyers, 6th on the road, 14th overall on the power play.
65 power play goals, but so many of those games played without Tim Kerr, and you see where he is, number 12, in the face-off circle. He'll take the draw here against Brent Sutter. Sinisalo, Eklund, Murphy, and Kartner out for Philadelphia. That's Kartner playing around the boards. Sinisalo trying to get it to Murphy. The crowd chanting defense, defense, and Ricky is dumped it to center. Kartner drops back. Gary Kartner checked from behind by McDonough. Sutter knocked the puck loose, but there's Sinisalo for the Flyers, and McDonough takes it away from him. Gibby McDonough turns at center ice. Gives it to Ricky. Joel Ricky backhands it down the ice, and Murphy will chase it. Lee Peters plays it away from him. Kartner chases it down the left side, and that gave McDonough a chance to get to it, but he's turned it over. Kerr sends Eklund into the Islander zone. Kelly Eklund met on the boards by Ricky, and McDonough shoots at the length of the ice.
Speaking of killing off penalties, Jiggs, as we speak, the Sabres did not get anything on their 5-minute power play.
Wow. Murphy sets up Tim Kerr. It goes back to Tocchet. He puts it back in the net. Ricky plays it through Eklund. Brent Sutter moves it around the opposite direction and all the way back into the Flyer zone. The first minute is killed off in Volek's tripping penalty. 1-0, Philadelphia leading. Goal score at Pittsburgh. Here's Sutter shooting the puck. He scores!
Just what the doctor ordered. What a mistake by the Philadelphia Flyers and the Islanders. Brent Sutter jumped on it. You have to take advantage of the mistakes of the other team. Pressure by Flatley. He pulls the puck away. Sinisalo fell. Sutter grabs the puck. He caught the defense and forwards going the wrong way. A quick shot through the feet of Pete Peters. It's a 1-1 tie, and the people are on their feet. His 32nd goal of the season. Third short-handed this season for the captain, Brent Sutter.
So the Flyer power play is broken up for the 13th time this season, and the game is tied 1-1. Still 45 seconds left in Volek's penalty. Unassisted goal for Brent Sutter. Now here's Craven starting out for Philadelphia. To center and shoots it in wide of Mark Fitzpatrick. It spins out of the corner back toward the net, and Finley gets bumped, but Wood is there. Plays it off the glass, and Gerald Diddick golfs at one that goes out of play. And we have 23 seconds remaining now in the Flyer power play. Acton comes back out to help kill off the balance of this penalty. Boy, was he pumped talking to him in the dressing room before the game. We were talking about the family involvement in St. Louis the other night after the game. His brother Brian, so thrilled by the fact that the Islanders had beaten Toronto, denying Toronto a chance to finish in second place. But Richie, the younger brother, one of the twins, reminding me that his brother, he didn't think had lost a face-off against Toronto, and also saying how they had to beat Pittsburgh. The Blues had to beat Pittsburgh because that kept his two brothers alive, meaning, of course, both Ron and Brent, with an opportunity to get to the playoffs and meeting one another here tonight, and they face off against one another. Brent wins the draw. Puck played around the boards, and Flatley nudges it to Brent Sutter. He's over the flyer line. Moves in, shoots, Peters to save. The rebound, and Sutter can't bang it by Peters. It just seemed to hang there. And now the final 6 seconds tick off in the Islander penalty. Puck centered out of the corner by Mary Barron. Raven holds it in. Ron Sutter is checked by Riki. Volek is back on. And the Islanders get a big shorthanded goal and have tied it 1-1. Brent Sutter over the line. Just overled Volek by a fraction. Now Volek lets it go, and it's off the target. In comes Gronstrand. New life, new charge in the skates of the Islanders here after that goal by Sutter. And the inspired play has them revved up now. Gord Murphy makes the pass to Tocchet at center ice. He's dumped it in. Derek Smith over on left wing. All by himself. Shoots it off the stick of Fitzpatrick. LaFontaine with a feed to Volek. Flyers get 4 men back, but here's LaFontaine over the line, knifing his way through traffic. Turns back on Samuelson. Acton put it behind the Philadelphia net. Connell handling it there with a pass to Samuelson. Samuelson banks it off King, and it's golfed down into the Islander zone by Acton. Patrick plays one to left wing. King has it there. Eric King trying to catch the Flyer defense as he moves over the line, only to be met by Samuelson. In comes Laxdal, pulls up, can't make the pass. King can't get a stick back from Samuelson, and there'll be a penalty. Shell Samuelson is going off for holding. With the score tied 1-1, let's pause for a local break. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
Creates another opportunity on the power play. Shell Samuelson draws a penalty. The Islanders get it revved up. They are dancing. There's Volek going to the ice. Samuelson draws the penalty. So the Islanders with an opportunity. This was the pressure that the Philadelphia Flyers were reacting to. Sutter with a second effort almost put it in the open side of the net as he stripped the puck away from Murray Barron.
Now Samuelson off. The first power play chance of the period. The Islanders did not have a shot on goal. Al Arbor sending out a forward line of Sutter, LaFontaine, and King, with Norton and Crossman on the points. Ron Sutter to face off for the Flyers. Brent wins the draw, getting the puck back to Norton. Cross ice. Doug Crossman has it. Crossman plays it in deep. Sutter gets to it back in the net, and here are the Islanders trying to set up the power play. Brent Sutter comes out in front. King shoots. Pad save by Peters. King dances out of the corner, lets it go. Peters down, is blocked at LaFontaine, a wrap around, and he can't get to the open side of the net. Then he's pushed into the boards by Chychrun. Brent Sutter frees it up, getting it to Jeff Norton. Norton fakes once. In it goes to LaFontaine. Now to Sutter. Brent Sutter centering effort, went off Partner. Crossman holds it back in the net with a pass to King. They double team in. King is able to move it around the boards. That's Crossman. Cross ice pass is tipped before it arrives on LaFontaine's stick now. Into Brent Sutter, he shoots, he scores!
When the going gets tough, the tough get going, and nobody's tougher on an opposition than Brent Sutter. He has given the Islanders a 2-0 lead. What a smart move. What a bad move by Peters. He went scrambling with his feet and his stick. Watch Sutter, he brings the puck to there. Look at Peters. He was going to poke check him, and he changed his mind, and Sutter outfoxed him. What a good move by the captain. He pulled the puck out and then whipped it through his feet. It's a 2-1 Islander lead, his second of the game. 33rd of the season for Brent Sutter.
And he has passed John Tonelli on the Islander all-time career point scoring list. He's moved into 5th place. 32nd and now 33rd goal of the season, and it's 2-1. The Islanders leading Philadelphia. Fontaine and Crossman credited with the assists. Coming with Samuelson in the penalty box. Each team has had 7 shots on goal, and as the Islanders skyward in toward the goal mouth, it's dropped off by Peters, only to have Randy Wood kick it out of the corner. Maloney steps from back of the net. That was knocked away from him by Barron, and it dropped back to center ice. Eklund goes to the left side. Sinisalo in front to Barron. A wraparound behind the back pass to no one. This is Jiggs McDonald. Randy Wood. Wood is across the Flyer line. McDonald moves in after it. Randy Wood puts the shoulder down, cuts in. Peters makes the stop and then covers the puck. And we'll get a face-off. 6.5 minutes left in the first period. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel. You look at Ron Sutter. He'll be our guest with Stan Fischler on the first intermission. Here's Randy Wood's opportunity a moment ago, Ed.
Look at Wood go outside as he uses his speed, tried to pull. Pete Peters almost succeeded in pulling him away from the goalpost.
Back to the live action, and Diddick's shot gets through. Peters the save, and he pulls it back into the catching glove and gets another face-off.
Islanders keep the pressure on. They're winning the face-offs, controlling the play, creating opportunities, and forcing Philadelphia to take penalties.
Sutter against Sutter. Ronnie says something to linesman Ron Asseltine. Now he's going back to the Philadelphia bench. Knocks the call Holmgren from long range. It's back into your picture. Interesting, isn't it? Captain against captain, brother against brother. Now Sutter is not going to take the draw. That'll go to Murray Craven. Rocket has to back up a little bit. You see the hash marks, the positioning of the skates on the edge of the circle. And the puck put in play. Sutter plays it through Craven. And it ends up in the near corner. Tocchet turned away from it. Get into the center ice zone. Gary Kartner dumps it in. Ron Sutter can't dance around Diddick. Now Sutter feeds it back to the blue line. Here's Chychrun with a long shot. Pad save, and the rebound is tracked down by Tocchet. Beats the left side. That's Kartner to Tocchet. Golfs it out in front of. Backhander is wide as Craven was right there. It's Patrick trying to play it up the boards. Brent Sutter is double teamed. The Flyers get it to Craven at the line. His shot is a pad save by Fitzpatrick, and quickly the Islanders have given it to Flatley. Flatley dumps it in and bounced off the side of the Philadelphia goal. Chychrun plays it up the boards for Derek Smith. He's checked right at the line. Now Kartner moves it out to center to Ron Sutter. The Flyers dump it in and go for a player change. 5.5 minutes remaining in the opening period. The Islanders lead 1-0 as Finley got knocked down. Derek Smith can't pick up a loose puck. Finley got it to the line. Islanders lead by a goal is what I meant to say. It's 2-1. And LaFontaine was over the line, but can't cut in. Good play by Samuelson. He got a little help as well as Lottle moved back. Now it's loose in front. LaFontaine shot is blocked by Lottle. That set up all alone in front of Peters. Crossman gives it to King. He's over the line with Blackstall. King waits, looks for the man coming late. That's Crossman. Pulls up, centers. King is there, but off the heel of his skate. Samuelson starts out of the corner. Samuelson gives it to Keith Acton. The pass in his skates. McDonald controlling it now. Works it to Jeff Finley. Finley shoots from the blue line. Peters grabs it with a shoulder high, and he's able to play it up the boards to Lacombe. Out into center ice. This is Kelly Eklund. Lead pass. Sinisalo gets into the Islander zone. Centered right in front of the net. And Gronstrand takes it over on right wing. Drops it back. This is Randy Wood. Wood parks behind the net with Sinisalo watching him. Now Gronstrand over in the far wing, dumps it down the boards into the Flyer zone. This is going to be called back on an icing. Brent Sutter has both goals. The Islanders lead by a score of 2-1.
In the other game, Jiggs Pittsburgh on a power play again. The Buffalo Sabres trying to kill it off. Try and bring you up to date whenever we get some time. I keep looking over my shoulder. There's a monitor with down the hallway a ways. I can see some of the hockey game. But here it's a 2-1 Islander lead. Laddle has had a tremendous period so far. Here he comes out of nowhere just as Pat LaFontaine does a spinorama with a shot. Laddle is able to get his stick on the puck and deflect it away.
Now 4 minutes, 22 seconds remaining in this opening period. Make the Flyers eat broccoli. Well, can't serve it on Air Force One, but
a lot of people love broccoli.
Well, the president. Anyway, so much for the politics of the evening. Make the Flyers eat broccoli. Murphy from back of the Philadelphia net takes a look. Decides to carry it up the middle of the ice. Kind of forces him to the far side, and Murphy puts it in front. Patrick dropping it off for Ricci. Around the boards through Sinisalo. It got to Randy Wood. Wood checked by Lindstrom as he got to the Philadelphia line. Loose puck. Not as quickly as Maloney, trying to wait for Wood to get back onside. Then he dumps it in right to Pete Peters. Murphy takes it from the goaltender. Fed it to Ken Lindstrom. Lindstrom into the center ice area. Slipped the puck in a neat little pass to Barron. Barron fires one. It's in the catching glove and then cleared by Fitzpatrick. Jim Kerr can't get to it. Berube does. Then Sutter steps in front of him, and quickly Ricci sends Randy Wood in on breakaway. Coming right in on Peters. Pulls him and is beaten by the pad save of Pete Peters.
What a tremendous save by Pete Peters. It appeared as Randy Wood had him cleanly beaten.
2-1. The Islanders lead. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
A great opportunity for Randy Wood and the New York Islanders. Here he breaks away. A bad change by the Philadelphia Flyers. In hot pursuit is Jeff Chikrin, but watch the left pad here of the goaltender. What a move by Peters. He looked like a wishbone that you were trying to pull apart. Self-inflicted. There's the pass, Joe Ricci. What a move by Ricci. Good pass. Wood takes it, races down. He's going to go to the backhand, and it's the left pad save. Stolen. Lock Pete Peters up. What a stop off Randy Wood.
But the Flyers got caught with too many men on the ice. Tim Kerr is sitting out the penalty. The Islanders with their third power play chance of the period. Brent Sutter, Pat LaFontaine, and Derek King. Sutter got the draw to Crossman. Over to Jeff Norton. Norton fires one. It was deflected wide off Sutter's stick. Brent Sutter can't play it around Kartner. Now he gets to it again. Kartner reaching in as Sutter gets loose from that check, only to be picked up by Samuelson. Kartner pulled it away from LaFontaine, and it's Ron Sutter shooting it down into the Islanders' zone.
I got so excited about the save that Peters made. It's too many men on the ice?
Yeah.
You mean on that exchange?
Flyers had too many men on the ice, and they're shorthanded.
How did they get the too many men on the ice?
Well, somebody made a mistake, I have to presume. And they had change, which, as you pointed out, set up the breakaway to begin with. And
I was thinking more of the terms. It was a bad change. I thought the player had to be involved in the play.
no, this has to be out on the ice. Too many out there, and that'll get you the penalty. Now the puck goes off the glass and up into the seats. Islander fans, this break in the action is a good time for you to break open an ice-cold Budweiser and enjoy that clean, crisp taste. Yeah, this Bud's for you.
Yeah, and this change was not for anybody but the Islanders. As I remember watching Murray Barron heading for the bench, and they're all yelling at him to turn around and get back on the ice, which he did. And that must have had somebody else that was on the ice, because nobody was involved in the play. Generally, they don't do it unless somebody gets involved in the play that's not supposed to.
Or you're too far away from the bench.
Yeah,
if you're away from more than a stick length away from the bench and coming out of the change.
No, I understand that, but Barron was all but to the bench. Then he turned around and came back into the play, but he didn't get in the play.
He's still on the ice. That's the key to it. He's still out there. He didn't go off. He turned and came back, right?
Yeah, but I didn't see anybody come on. That's where I missed it. Because if somebody came on, you'd think they'd be the closest to Randy Wood.
As you see in Pittsburgh, still no score first period. Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Keep in mind, all the Penguins need is a tie. That would eliminate both the Islanders any chance of making the playoffs.
Pittsburgh's on their third power play now. Mario Lemieux just hit the goalpost, we're told.
Here's Randy Wood bringing the puck over the Flyer line. 40 seconds remaining in this power play. Fontaine hits it in the corner. He's giving it to Flatley. Plays it around the boards. Back to Finley covering the left point. And it goes to Flatley. Back to Finley. Over now to Norton. Back to Finley. High slot. He feeds Flatley on the left side. Looks toward LaFontaine. Gives it to Finley. To Flatley. They move some people around. And the puck comes off the boards. LaFontaine. It to Flatley, to Finley. Norton holding a little on him. He's fed it to Flatley. Into LaFontaine. A turnaround is off the left shoulder of Peters, and Kartner has it for Philadelphia. And shoots it down into the Islanders zone. That kills off the penalty. One shot on goal with a man advantage. 1 minute, 15 seconds remaining in the opening period here. Jeff Norton has made the pass to Maloney at center ice. He's dumped it into the zone. We welcome those of you who have been watching the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres here at the Nassau Coliseum. The New York Islanders on a power play goal and a shorthanded goal by Brent Sutter lead the Flyers 2-1. Tim Kerr has scored for Philadelphia. In fact, they led 1-0, and now they're over the line again as Acton has the puck. Centers one across, it's broken up and cleared out by Baumgartner. Chasing it down the right side, Brent Sutter over the line with McDonough and Maloney. Back to Sutter with Maloney's pass, and Brent Sutter shot it wide. It gets away from Baumgartner. Diddick recovers back inside the Islander blue line. We have 33 seconds remaining in the opening period as the puck is cleared over the boards and into the Islander players' bench.
Philadelphia has to feel the urgency. Now that they're down a goal, they have to have at least a tie, depending on what's going on in the game that the folks that just joined us watching. They need at least a tie. The Islanders have to win. Brent Sutter, a power play goal and a short-handed goal. Then he shot one over the top of the crossbar with another attempt. All in the first period, only 33 seconds remaining. Randy Wood with a tremendous opportunity in on a breakaway. Best save of the game so far goes to Pete Peters.
Brent Sutter has outbattled his younger brother Ron on another face-off. He's done that consistently throughout this first period. We watch Riki bring the puck to center ice. Plays it into the far corner. That's Craven going back flatly into forecheck. Knocked the puck away from Craven, but Waddle is right there, and he finds Craven coming out on the right side. Volek got a piece of it. Here's Samuelson over the Islander line. His shot bounces off Riki. Back toward the blue line and is held in by Murray Craven. And Sutter picks it up here on left wing. He's met David Volek. Takes a hit and is knocked down by Ron Sutter. Samuelson handles the puck. Not enough time to do anything with it. There's the end of the first period. The New York Islanders, after trailing 1-0, have come back on goals by Brent Sutter, his 32nd and 33rd of the season, to take a 2-1 lead in a must game over the Philadelphia Flyers. The Islanders must win. Philadelphia must lose for the Islanders to have any shot at going to the playoffs. Tim Kerr, what a presence he is, and Al Arbor sees his team come back from a deficit and go to the dressing room with a 2-1 lead over the Philadelphia Flyers. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
Credit telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Islanders, and it's intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Islanders and SportsChannel is prohibited. Keep up with all of the news about the New York Islanders. Get your one-year subscription to the Islander News, the official newspaper of the New York Islanders, today. Collect your full-page color-action photos of your favorite Islanders while finding out everything you need to know about your favorite team. Send a check or money order for $12 to Islander News, Post Office Box 5420, Hempstead, New York, 11550.
For the third time this season, Mark Fitzpatrick starts 4 games in a row. He was in the nets in Toronto the other night. His mom, Vi, was there with her 8 sisters. Mark trying to decide whether he should buy the tickets or take them out afterward. He took the 9 girls out. The youngest is 19. We're not going to say who the oldest is, but Vi is second. Vi's from Kitimat, and you see the tie? It's McDonald's new tie. His mom brought that all the way from Kitimat. There's the logo, the official insignia of Kitimat, British Columbia, their hometown, and proud to wear it tonight.
And I, like you, I thank them because I have one also.
Sorry, we missed you, Vi. We didn't know you were there, as a matter of fact. But the 9 sisters all together at the game at Maple Leaf Gardens, and certainly together afterward. It was a fun night with Mark last night. I'll tell you about that when we get a chance as the puck is dumped into the Islanders zone, and Diddick goes back. Played it toward the corner. Ronnie Sutter and Volek battling for it. Now Baumgartner plays it back of the net. There's Tocchet for the Flyers. And it back to Barron, in around the boards to Craven. Craven slides it into the slot. Tocchet shot is a stick save by Fitzpatrick. Craven puts it out in front. Tocchet a bullet. It's under the pads of Fitzpatrick, and there's no further play.
What a drive by Rick Tocchet. He had 2 opportunities, and both times Mark Fitzpatrick beat him. Tocchet is strong. He's the leading scorer. Here's the play in front. Tocchet being checked by Gerald Diddick. Got the shot away. And then he returned, got his balance again. He sped the puck, and he whistled that one. It hit Mark Fitzpatrick on the right side. You could see that he lost sight of the puck. He could only hope that it was and ended up where it ended up, and that was under him. A quick barrage here by Philadelphia at the beginning of the second period, similar to the first period when they opened to score. Tim Kerr, scoring his 24th of the season to make it 1-0, and then Brent Sutter took over. Back-to-back goals, a shorthanded goal, and then a power play goal made it 2-1.
See the other game at Pittsburgh, still no score. The second period is underway, and the Penguins are on a power play, their 4th. Buffalo, remember, is the best penalty killing in the league, and you wonder, Pittsburgh bringing Mario Lemieux back tonight to play on the power play. I guess he hit the post on an excellent chance in the first period. They outshot Buffalo 16-5.
And if you're not watching, but you're getting the kind of updates that we're getting, Jiggs, you have to assume that Pittsburgh is putting a lot of heat on the Buffalo Sabres because they're taking penalty after penalty.
No, if there is a negative, I guess, is the fact that Buffalo has not swept a season series from any team in the league this year. They were 2-0 against Pittsburgh going into that game tonight.
Yes, and they've outscored Pittsburgh in the first 2 games that they played, 11-4.
The Islanders hope they can keep that up. Islander fans hoping the scenario shapes up as a Buffalo win and an Islander win, and the Islanders would go to the playoffs. Right now, the Islanders doing their share, leading by a score of 2-1. Brent Sutter on the draw. Raven wins the face-off. There's Tocchet with a shot. Change direction in front of the net. And Volek flips it off the glass, only to have Barron hold it in at the left point. He's turned it right back toward Diddick. Darryl Diddick dumps it out to center ice. Murphy puts it back inside the Islanders' zone. Baumgartner clears it away from everybody at center into the goal mouth, so there is no icing at the other end of the ice. Barron playing it up the right side. Volek puts the hip into Sutter, and now Craven steps over the line. Murray Craven into the slot to Tocchet. He scores! Rick Tocchet ties it 2-2.
He had 2 chances earlier. Give him a third, and look out. Rick Tocchet with a whistler. He leads the Philadelphia Flyers in scoring with 94 points now. His 36th goal of the season. Stopping quickly. Watch Tocchet, 22. He just swept the puck like he had a boomerang in his hand, and he just hooked it into it and fired it right away off the goalpost to the right of Mark Fitzpatrick, and Tocchet has tied it at 2 apiece with his 36th goal of the season.
Well, the Flyers came out of the chute in a hurry here to begin this period, and have tied it at 1:57. Tocchet leads all Flyer scorers, and now King with a shot off the pads of Peter. Otto fires it up the right wing boards off Tim Kerr. Sinisalo is checked in the center ice area, and Derek King drops back, giving it to Crossman. Crossman played it off the boards, only to have Samuelson shoot it back in again. Craven and Ron Sutter get the assists on that goal for Philadelphia. They're tied 2-2. Otto held it in at the line and shot it wide. The Islanders move it out to center ice, but here's Samuelson. Samuelson dumps it in around the boards. Buffalo is killed off the Pittsburgh power play. There is still no score. Second period action at Pittsburgh. On the Islanders, forced back into their own end of the ice. Fitzpatrick will hold up the puck. Plays it up the wing now to Derek Laxdal. Laxdal backhands one outside the line. Ronald with it at center ice, number 11. Originally Toronto Maple Leaf property. Some good moves, but then he lost the puck. And Ricky feeds Derek King. King over the Flyer line, cuts inside, then gave it to LaFontaine. Can't get it back to King as Chikrin wrapped it in his skates. Jeff Chikrin dumps it towards center ice. Norton steps in over the line with LaFontaine. Norton puts it back in the net. Peters handling it there, shoveled it away from LaFontaine, and Eklund gets to it. Kelly Eklund has dumped it to center. Grandstrand gets bumped. Norton back, pulled it away from Tim Kerr, and the Islanders set up inside their own zone. Norton with a feed to Wood. Now to Don Maloney. He's over the line, dropping it to McDonald, but Ruby came back to break up that pass. Grandstrand plays it rink wide. Norton doubles it around one man, and then dumps it down into the Flyer zone. Nearing the 3-minute mark, time played in the second period as the Flyers clear the zone, and Norton drops back for it now. Up quickly to Wood. He steps over the line with McDonough. The shot is on Peters' catching glove. Come up off the glass and is cleared up by the Philadelphia Flyers.
In desperation, he got his glove on a piece of the puck, just enough to deflect it over the top of the net.
Now at center ice, Maloney has fed McDonough, gives it to Wood. He crashes into Melody, excuse me. McDonough comes over the line, fed it to the right side. Grandstrand going in deep, wheels it out in front off the stick of the goalkeeper, and Trottier is on it. There's Wood as well. It's in the goal mouth and cleared back. Then they score! The Islanders regain the lead.
carbon copy of the first period when Philadelphia got things rolling. They tied the score, but here the Islanders with pressure stop, and the rebound by Jari Granstrand. He led the play into Philadelphia's end of the ice. Trottier shot deflected. Peters just got a piece of it, and there it just kind of trickles across the line. It looked like Kenny Lynchman was reaching for the puck. It went off the end of the stick, beyond the grasp of goaltender Pete Peters, and the Islanders are ahead once again.
Jari Granstrand, his third goal of the season. 3 minutes, 20 seconds into the second period. Pete Peters is going to be relieved by Bruce Hoffert. Now, the Islanders have faced Hoffert this season. He has a win over them. He's played 35 minutes against the Islanders, got credit for a win, did not give up a goal. So he is 1-0-0 against the Islanders, and against the National Hockey League. Hoffert doesn't have quite that impressive a record of a 0.00 goals against average. And as we watch Hoffert, Derek Laxdal has gone down the runway toward the Islander dressing room. 3-0-1, 3.57 is the goals against average for Hoffert.
Played at Lake Superior State University from North Battleford, Saskatchewan, 23-year-old Bruce Hoffert. He's in a hot spot right now. I would have to think they pulled Peters to try and shake up the team. Not necessarily his problem with a deflection. They made an original save, and then the puck as he reached out to grab it. I think it was Ken Lynchman who tried to grab a hold of the puck. It went off the end of his stick and deflected into the net.
And that's exactly what appeared to Lynchman's stick got in there. But it is 3-2. The Islanders leading on home ice, hoping that Buffalo can beat the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have to take care of their own business first, and now Vakota in forechecking has the puck knocked away from him. It's brought out by Barron. Smith dumps it in the corner. Acton after it. Fitzpatrick turns it back toward the corner, but there's Acton centering one. LaFontaine stepped in to break it up. He's fed Ryan Trottier. Trottier, long pass to Vakota, right wing. Cranks one up that's just wide of Hoffert. Trottier in the corner, puts it back in the net. Hoffert trying to handle it. It skips away from LaFontaine, who was right there. Now Barron has cleared the zone. The Islanders in the middle of the change. Volek holds the puck in at the line with a pass to LaFontaine, and he puts it back in the net. Starting back for it, Gord Murphy up to Acton. Backhands it in wide to Fitzpatrick. Derek Smith moving in, and the Islanders cleared out off the goaltender's stick. Markner gets checked. Here's David Volek. He's over the Flyer line, shooting. He scores!
What a blast by David Volek. He seems to be coming out of his deep sleep. 17th goal of the season. Hoffert never had a chance to move on it. He whistled it. What a blast by Volek. It's in the net. Hoffert makes a move in futility. Here's the rising shot. Hoffert probably partially screened, but it went in under the crossbar. It's a 2-goal lead. First shot on goal against Hoffert, who just replaced Pete Peters. Volek with his 17th, and the Islanders with a 2-goal lead.
And the sign said it well, didn't it? Alive and kicking. 4-2. The Islanders up as Samuelson handles the puck at the Flyer line. He's given it to Ron Sutter. Shot it off Diddick, now off Baumgartner. It's loose. Brent Sutter lost it. Murray Craven gets stripped up. Still petted in the slot, and it's shot wide. And there's going to be a penalty call against the Islanders. Donald plays the puck in toward the corner. Baumgartner takes the man, and as Diddick takes the puck, play is called. There will be a hooking penalty against the Islanders, setting up a Flyer power play. The Islanders lead 4-2, and you're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel. 4-2, the Islanders are leading here, but they have to get help and are not getting it. Pittsburgh has taken a 1-goal lead. Doug Smith has scored that goal.
Here's Smith again now. He's got area on his left, makes the pass inside the line. Centering pass in front, Smith scores! Penguins take the lead.
Arian Lemieux assisting on Doug Smith's fourth. It's now 1-0, Pittsburgh.
Here's the update. the goal, giving the Penguins the lead. You know the scenario. Buffalo has to win in order for the Islanders to go to the playoffs if they beat the Philadelphia Flyers. And they're doing their bit here, leading by a score of 4-2. They haven't beaten Philadelphia this season in 6 previous games. The best they could do, a couple of ties. Now the Flyers get to a loose puck. Tim Kerr's shot is a big save by Fitzpatrick, and it ends up in the far wing. Brent Sutter knocks it away from Tim Kerr. Down the ice it goes. Hoffert will wait. Plays it away from Craven through Eklund, and at center ice, McDonough gets to it for the Islanders. Back it goes to Riki. Riki dumps at the length of the ice. Volek is sitting on a hooking penalty that was called at the 4:58 mark. Second power play of the night for the Flyers, and here they come. Eklund over center ice. Feeds Tocchet on left wing. Tocchet winds up, and his shot is deflected off Crossman's stick and well up into the seats. Portions of tonight's game are being brought to you by Mobil 1 Synthetic Motor Oil. Mobil 1, the winning oil at the 1989 Indy 500.
Tim Kerr opened the scoring in this hockey game 40 seconds into the first period. But it's been the Islanders taking charge. Beginning of the period seemed to be in the best interest of Philadelphia, but it's the Islanders that take over after. Tocchet scored 57 seconds into this period before the Islanders got 2 more.
They got 2 recruits right there. 4 goals isn't enough. They'll go to the seats and get those 2 young men who came ready to play. Man.
Second power play of the hockey game for Philadelphia. They did not get a shot on goal their first power play.
They've had 1 thus far with this man advantage. Still a minute and 9 seconds left in it as we see Kartner give the puck to Murphy. Low shot, pad save by Fitzpatrick as it came through the screen. Held in by Linsman at the faceoff dot. Headed deeper. Sinosalo steps from back in the goal line. Giving it to Kartner through a screen. That's off the stick and again up into the seats. 51 seconds.
It's a deflection.
Yep.
They haven't moved it. They are now outside. The referee wasn't signaling. Linsman is talking to him now. He wants the face-off inside, but it was Linsman who deflected the puck all the way up into the seats. There's Pete Peters. He was relieved just moments ago. Murphy with his shot. Good stop here by Mark Fitzpatrick. He got the right pad on it. You have to like the balance of Mark Fitzpatrick. I just looked down and I saw arms waving. It's 1-1. Buffalo has just scored. We'll get you the news as to who did it in a moment.
So the Sabres on the board here, and the Flyers trying to get closer with a man advantage. Tim Kerr trying to move around Diddick. It's checked, and Hubie McDonough with the loose puck. Plays it over center ice and dumps it in. Back comes Murphy, pulls up. Makes the play to the left wing boards. Terry Kartner sends Linsman across the Islander line. Comes in with a shot. Fitzpatrick the save, and it comes outside the line as Murphy couldn't handle it to the point. Lord Murphy goes cross ice. Kartner shoots it around the boards. Fitzpatrick slows it up. Now will leave it for Gerald Diddick, and he slams one off the stick and out of play off a Flyer player's stick. And will face off again outside the blue line. As you look at Fitzpatrick, Mark and I last evening were over to Story 18 at the annual sports night at St. Francis of Assisi Church. You talk about some real enthusiasm there. A lot of Islander fans. I know it's creeping up toward 9 o'clock, but Walter Gilroy, big Pat LaFontaine fan, just about bedtime, Walter. Well, I guess check with your mom and see what she says.
No school tomorrow. You can stay up. It's 1-1. There it is. The Buffalo Sabres have scored to tie it. Mogilny from Turgeon and Andrechuk. The scoring in that game, so it's 1-1. 13 seconds remaining here on a power play for Philadelphia.
The playoffs in the National Hockey League begin on Wednesday night. The Campbell Conference goes to work first this year and be followed by the Prince of Wales Conference the following night. You know, the Rangers are going to open at home. Will it be against Pittsburgh, the Islanders, or the Philadelphia Flyers? It'll all be decided in the last weekend. Acton with a pass that's broken up, and David Volek clears the zone. Lead pass just out of the reach of Flatley. Puck ends up in the Philadelphia territory. Flatley stepped in to get a stick on it. Patrick Flatley centers one across. Brent Sutter nudged it to Volek. He puts it in the corner. Samuelson is all over Sutter, and here comes Flatley. Puts it in front to Volek off his stick, and Lottle handles it for the Flyers. Playing it away from Volek. Flatley steals it at center ice. He overled LaFontaine. Offered, moves out of the net. Hesitated a moment, but is able to play it up the boards. And Derek Smith dumps it into center ice for Keith Acton. Acton plays the right side. There's Lacombe with a shot that's wide of the net. Rossman takes the man as Baumgartner moves the puck out through center ice. Randy Wood moving up. Back forward is Murray Barron, the young Flyer defenseman, who's given it to Murphy. Turns it over. Harry King off the boards, trying to center one in front, and Murphy got back quickly. Murphy got it one side. Tocchet was looking the other direction, and the Flyers have to go back. The Islanders leading by a score of 4-2 here at the Nassau Coliseum as Murray Craven makes the pass to Rick Tocchet. Fontaine all over him as Tocchet has dumped it in. Ron Sutter after it. Back of the net, Ricky stepped in front of him, plays it up the boards. Barron holds it in. Craven, he let it go to Sutter. Ron Sutter looks for Tocchet coming through the slot, but he was well covered by Diddick. Now Sutter centers, and the Islanders take control, and out they come. Randy Wood into the center ice zone, but the play has been called. Back of the goal, back of the play, I should say, a holding penalty coming against the Islanders. We'll take a look at McGillney's goal, but here it is, the Islanders 4 and the Flyers 2. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
Get down the ice for Buffalo. They try to mount some pressure now in the Pittsburgh zone. Out in front, McGillney scores and ties it for the Buffalo Sabres. Set up beautifully from behind the net.
Islanders draw a penalty. Joe Ricky, well behind the play, grabbed a hold of Murray Craven in the goal mouth, dragged him down. So the Philadelphia Flyers go back to the power play. This will be their third. They've now had 3 shots on goal in the previous 2 power plays.
11.5 minutes, the time remaining in the second period. Lottle back in his own zone, makes the pass to Linsman. Linsman leading the rush, Eklund trailing. Linsman feeds Tim Kerr for a shot. Glove save by Fitzpatrick, and there's no further play.
Not many players in the league can do what Tim Kerr did there from that distance, about 50 feet. He one-timed it with a wrist shot, a snapping wrist shot, as Ken Linsman led the play, drops it over. There's the play by Kerr. He was hoping to catch Mark Fitzpatrick moving the other way. The shot on goal. Mark Fitzpatrick picked it off easily.
7 shots for the Flyers, 5 for the Islanders in the second period. Fitzpatrick with the 5th best save percentage of all the goaltenders in the National Hockey League this season. Talked so often about Pat LaFontaine's 11-game goal-scoring streak, the longest in the league this year. Remember that the Islanders won 9 straight games going back New Year's Eve in Buffalo. That's the longest winning streak in the league this year. There's so many positive areas, but here they are fighting for a playoff spot in the 80th game of the season and needing help elsewhere too. Flatley trying to bring it up the boards, lost it, now regains control of it and clears the zone. 1.5 minutes remaining in the Flyer power play. Brent Sutter into forecheck as Hoffert gave it to Lottle. Left side to Murphy. Murphy sends Linsman over the line. It slipped off his stick to Murphy. Puts it in the skates of Flatley, who misfired on it. Eklund can't get to it. Flatley gets bumped. Can't clear the zone. Lottle up the slot. Shoots. Fitzpatrick the blocking glove save. Lottle has his own rebound. But can't get around Brent Sutter. Puck comes to the side of the net. Diddick tight on Linsman. In comes Tim Kerr. Lottle picks it up again on the left side. The fans thought that there should be a penalty against Philadelphia as Diddick was taken down, and now the Islanders are able to clear the puck. 50 seconds, just to make it 52, remaining in the penalty to Ricky. Lottle turning as Maloney moved in on him. Flyers clear to the right wing side. That's Tocchet going rink wide. Kerr had to go back for it, never did get to it. Now they have it at center, and Tocchet steps over the line, feeding Craven. Puts it in the slot, but behind both Tocchet and Kerr. Jimmy McDonald hearing it from the crowd as he gives it to Don Maloney. Shoots one off the far side and up high. Goaltender flexing the shoulder, but the Flyers come to the Islander line, have the play broken up there. Kartner is checked. 20 seconds in the power play. Chasing it in the left wing boards is Rick Tocchet. Maloney knocks it away from him. Ron Sutter gets to it, put it in the slot. Kartner on the backhand, lets it go. Pad save in front, and the Islanders start out. Here's Don Maloney to Yari Gronstrand, and he shot it wide of the Philadelphia net. And that does it. The penalty is expired. Philadelphia with 4 shots in the man advantage, and Ricky runs into Kartner. Good hit. Rossman gets bounced around a little bit. He sends LaFontaine over the line. Can't shift around Samuelson. Offered and LaFontaine collided. LaFontaine from back of the net tries a wraparound. There's Randy Wood, and his shot is deflected wide. Ron Sutter slaps it off the boards. Made the referee jump a rope. And Craven feeds it into Ron Sutter's skates, and it ends up in the Islanders' zone. Norton shot it right back at Sutter. Norton picks it up again in the far corner. Plays it up the boards and out into the center ice zone. Barron back. With less than 9 minutes to go in the second period. The Islanders leading by a score of 4-2 as Doug Crossman steps out of his own zone, comes to center ice. He's given the puck to Derek King. Quick shot is wide on the glove side. Low shot. Wood nudges it back. Here's Norton coming in from the blue line. Norton on the backhand. That's a goal. It was just off the target. Lacombe starts out for Philadelphia. Lauren Lacombe over center ice. LaFontaine right on him. Slowed him up. Lacombe down on both knees. Can't make the pass. There's going to be a penalty. Acton got spilled as he went into the Islanders zone. An interference penalty sets up a Flyer power play. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
Wonderful end-to-end hockey here in the second period. Derek King takes an interference penalty as the Philadelphia Flyers come darting across the Islander blue line. Watch in front of the net. Actually was off to the side. Derek King, off camera, pulls down one of the Philadelphia Flyers who was late coming into the Islanders' end of the ice. So another power play, the fourth now for Philadelphia.
Kevin Collins patching up the ice. There's a run about 10 feet inside the Philadelphia blue line. Ricky, the Islanders have run into 3 consecutive penalties. When Joe Ricky came out of the box after serving his call, you see the hit he put on Kartner?
What a surprise. You know, you're not expecting that. You see all the ducks lined up in front of you, and the duck comes out of nowhere. Whack, clunk.
Now the Islanders shorthanded again, and the puck played right to Fitzpatrick. He's given it to Diddick, and down the ice it goes. Bruce Hoffer to replace Pete Peters in this second period. He's left it for Murray Craven. Out of Tocchet on the left side. It went off his stick and is cleared up by Diddick. Waddle with it in the center ice zone. Eklund moving up the right wing. Waddle brings it over the line. The pass to Tim Kerr is blocked. Brent Sutter clears the zone, and the Islanders force the Philadelphia Flyers to go back. Alfred waited with it. Let Craven come back. McDonough is out as a penalty killer along with Don Maloney. Flyers come up the left side, led by Rick Tocchet. Cuts inside, and his pass went off Ricky's stick. Don Maloney gets a whack at it and has cleared it out. McDonough chases it into center ice. Lotto drops back. McDonough bumps him, shoots. Hoffert the save. And out comes Tocchet. The pass is to Eklund. Eklund over the line has given it to Murphy. In the slot is Tocchet, but Murphy elected to shoot one wide, and that will end up in the center ice zone. Harry Kartner comes back with 56 seconds left in the Flyer power play. There's Murphy going cross ice for Tim Kerr. Diddick reaches in, knocked it away. Now loses it to Kartner. Harry Kartner. Tim Kerr couldn't trap it. Linsman does. The pass to Murphy to Kerr. He shoots on the fly off some skates, and then it's gulped wide by Tocchet. Don Maloney over on left wing. Flips it high in the air and down into the Philadelphia zone. 32 seconds remaining in the power play. Rick Vaive has just given Buffalo a 2-1 lead over the Pittsburgh Penguins. The Islanders lead here. The scenario very good at this stage, late in the second period. Here's Harry Kartner on the left side. And it goes to Sinisalo. Whoever finishes fourth in the Patrick division faces the Rangers in the opening round. And it's Mellanby with the puck right now. Scott Mellanby trying to get it to the blue line. Randy Wood broke up the pass. Teams are at 6 aside again. No shots on goal with the man advantage for Philadelphia. And now a scuffle as Randy Wood and Mellanby pot at one another. Joe Ricky has his hands full with Linsman, then they separate. And Randy Wood is clouted by Mellanby right in front of the officials. Ricky takes exception, goes chasing Mellanby, but then cools off a little bit. 6:19 the time remaining with the score. The Islanders 4, the Flyers 2. Let's pause for a local break. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
Most of the play in the neutral zones now as they feed Turgeon on the right side. Now Vaive, slap shot, scores. 2-1 for the Buffalo Sabres.
Welcome back to the Nassau Coliseum. You've just seen that goal by Rick Vaive, assist to Turgeon and Housley, and Buffalo has a 2-1 lead. The Pittsburgh now is going to the power play in that game at the Civic Arena. And here's the reason for the penalty against Philadelphia.
Oh, what a dumbhead play. I don't believe that an NHL player, as bad as I've seen some of them, that Mellanby would pull that kind of a stunt. If I was a teammate of his, I'd crawl into the penalty box and punch him.
Really?
Well, I mean, that's a little overstated, but I mean, here they are. They've got their backs against the wall, and he had time to cool off, and he could have walked away. Instead, he takes a sucker shot in full view of the referee. That's dumb.
Mellanby is off for roughing at the 13:41 mark of the second period. Norton knocked Ron Sutter off the puck, and it's Derek King trying to organize the power play in the Islander end of the ice. Goes to the left side with the pass to Norton. Got it in deep. Offord waits at the goal line. It's picked up now by Karkner, and he plays the boards and out into center ice. Crossman comes back to handle a rolling puck. Fontaine cuts to the left. Crossman feeds the puck up ahead to Brent Sutter. Holds up at the board. Centered. LaFontaine put it off the post. Had it behind Hoffert, but not over the goal line. Norton feeds it in. Sutter can't get it to King. It's away from Eklund's check. Now the Islander captain feeds it to King. Eric King turns and lost it. Samuelson plays it around the boards, and Norton handles it at center ice. 54 seconds remaining in this power play for the Islanders. Brent Sutter brings them over the line with a feed to LaFontaine. Trying to cut in off the wing to Sutter. He couldn't tip it by Bruce Hoffert. And it's Karkner clearing it out for Philadelphia. Norton sets up again at the Islander blue line with a feed for Doug Crossman. See the time ticking off in the penalty against Philadelphia. This is Jeff Norton carrying it through the center ice zone. Over the Flyer line. Knifes through the defense. Cuts in on Hoffert. Shoots. Hoffert the save. The puck loose. Come back to the net. LaFontaine spun it right across the front of the goal. Norton has it with 16 seconds in the power play. That's Flatley off the wing. His long shot into the goal mouth. LaFontaine can't find the handle on it, and it's shot down the ice by Eklund.
5 seconds remaining in the power play. The Islanders have done everything but put the puck in. They've hit the goal post. Hoffert has made 2 or 3 fine saves.
And now the team's at 6 aside. Flatley can't get to it back to the net. It spins right out in front as it came off Randy Wood. Murphy for Philadelphia's fed Scott Mellanby. Dumps it in. Linsman goes racing in after it. Diddick gets to him in the corner. Ties him up. Puck tied up in some skates as well. There's Acton trying to knock it loose. And they rule it's been held long enough for a face-off. Islanders 4, Flyers 2. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
Buzzing on the power play. Pat LaFontaine with a deflection. Rung it off the goalpost to the right of Hoffert, the goaltender. There's the play. There's the deflection. Through the legs, off the goalpost. Comes back out to him. Good scoring chance for the Islanders.
He has picked up 1 assist, assisting on Brent Sutter's power play goal that gave the Islanders a 2-1 lead in the first period. The goals here in the second. Gronstrand and Volek for the Islanders. Tocchet for Philadelphia. We remind you that Buffalo has taken a 2-1 lead over the Pittsburgh Penguins. The scenario again is that the Penguins have to lose and the Islanders have to win. That would put the Islanders into 4th spot and a playoff date with the New York Rangers. Acton holding the puck, comes in out of the corner, pulls up, centers one. It comes through Barron and out into center ice. Barron being chased by Maloney. Flyer defenseman golfed it off the boards. Gronstrand puts it back in over the line. Here's Barron moving up to center and dumps it wide of Mark Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick turning it back. It's intercepted by Acton. Puts it out in front. Kerr was there. Is decked by Gronstrand. Meantime, Vakota carries the puck to center ice. Shot it in around the boards. Ron Maloney traps it here in the right wing. Puts it behind the net, but Murphy is right there for Philadelphia. Forechecking of Maloney. Murphy went wide on him. Has fed Acton. Now to Linsman at center ice. Gartner will take it from Fitzpatrick. Both teams making changes. And Mick Vakota slides it outside the line, but Raven is there and dumps it on back into the Islanders zone. McDonough gets arrested. Hutter comes out of the Flyers chasing a loose puck. Gets to it at the side of the net. Tocchet centers. Fitzpatrick down and it goes wide of the net. Fitzpatrick very quickly back on those skates after the Flyers had an opportunity set up. Karkner, excuse me, to Craven, and it's knocked away from him. Chasing it back for Philadelphia's Jeff Chychrun. Volek goes into forecheck. Chikrin up the middle. Ron Sutter over to Craven. He's into the Islanders zone on left wing, trying to move in on Dinnick. Craven centers. A collision in the goal mouth, and the puck goes wide. David Volek for the Islanders has given it to Brent Sutter. Sutter over center. Long shot on Hofford, and he comes well out to block it. Good forechecking by Volek. Sets up Flatley for that shot that was wide. Oh, my. Timing was perfect, but the shot just missed. And Hofford moving, and now Philadelphia forces the Islanders back in. Mark Fitzpatrick puts it in the corner. Crossman takes the man. Ron Sutter gets to the puck. A check by Flatley. LaFontaine puts it back in the net. Here's Ilka Sinisalo trying to make the play at the side of the net. Now he goes back in the net. Heavy collision there, and it's Flatley knocking it away from Ron Sutter. Rocket colliding with Sutter. Centered off Sutter's stick. Fitzpatrick pulls it back in and holds on to it. 1:35 remaining in the second period. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
A humdinger here at the Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. Pat Flatley. Philadelphia give the puck away. Here's Flatley tried to put it through the goaltender, the net, and the boards. He missed everything except the boards.
The Islanders outscored the Penguins the Flyers, excuse me, 2-1 in the first, 2-1 in the second. We welcome those of you who've been watching the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres. The Islanders are doing their part. They're leading the Philadelphia Flyers 4-2. Doing their part, I say, in an effort to make fourth place. Outscored Pittsburgh, or Philadelphia, excuse me, 2-1 in the first, 2-1 here in the second, but the Flyers are over the line. Sinisalo shot one off Crossman. It comes right back to Eklund. Eklund turns, set up Samuelson for a shot that's wide. Tim Kerr is checked by Riki as he tried to go back in the net. Eklund chasing a loose puck, has given it to Kerr. Back to the point. Randy Wood broke up the feed for Lottle. Wood and LaFontaine over center ice. Crossman up to join the play. Takes the puck here on the right side. A minute to go. Period 2. Randy Wood holds it. Now that's a goal. Hofford makes a stretching save. Eklund over on right wing. Clears the zone for Philadelphia. Dinnick shoots it back in. 50 seconds left in the second period. This is Samuelson. He's checked by Randy Wood. The puck off the back of the net. And tied up by Samuelson. Comes loose for Lottle. Played it around the boards. Patrick Flatley, who had just missed on a golden opportunity a moment ago, puts the puck in the corner. Samuelson dumps it out through center ice, and that forces Dinnick to chase it. There will not be an icing call. Teams in the middle of changes. Dinnick takes a look at the clock. Plays the right side with a pass to Brent Sutter. Now to Flatley. Lost it momentarily. Now gives it to Maloney. Dumped it in. Hofford to replace Pete Peters when the Islanders took a 3-2 lead. Has given it. Oh, thought he had given it to Lacombe at center, only to have it taken away by the Islanders. Flatley puts it right in front. It's trapped by Murphy. Lord Murphy, the Philadelphia defenseman, comes over center ice, cuts to the right at the Islander line, shoots it, and that's going to do it for the second period. The horn sounds. After falling into a 2-2 tie, the Islanders come back with a pair of goals, and strong, I mean tremendously strong goaltending from Mark Fitzpatrick. And an outstanding effort by David Volek in this game. Volek has taken them to the 2-goal lead. All the scoring coming before the 5-minute mark of that second period. So we're at the end of 40 minutes with the score. The New York Islanders 4 and the Philadelphia Flyers 2. We'll be back with a recap following these messages.
There's only one way this summer to learn the basics of hockey or improve the skills you already have by registering for the Bobby Nystrom New York Islanders Summer Hockey Camp. Choose from 4 one-week sessions this August at Candiac Park in Hicksville. Bobby and his staff will be joined by some of your favorite Islanders in teaching you the fundamentals of skating, shooting, and puck handling. For information, call the Islanders at 516-794-4100.
A look at Bruce Hofford and now Mark Fitzpatrick as the two teams get set for the third period with the Islanders on top 4-2.
You know what the breakdown is for the money this year in the playoffs?
No, I don't believe I do.
Well, if you get knocked out in the first round, it's $3,000. If you're a divisional runner-up, you're $6,000 you make. If you're a conference champion runner-up, it's $11,000. The Stanley Cup runner-up gets $18,000, and if you win it all, it's $25,000 per person.
$25,000 doesn't sound like a great deal of money for 16 victories, does it? But it adds up. Bonuses and things like that to go along with it. And the pride factor.
And the raise next year.
Yes. Everybody goes into it even, looking for their first win. This, the Prince of Wales Conference, opens it up on Thursday night. Campbell Conference will begin their playoff games the previous evening, Wednesday. You know the matchups there. Waiting to see what happens here. Whether it's Pittsburgh, the Islanders, or the Flyers, who make fourth place in the Patrick division. And Fitzpatrick coming up with a big save off pocket to open up this third period. The puck comes right back off the boards and launched underneath the Islander goalkeeper. A little scuffle here. Flyer defense staying high, trying to force that face-off deep in the Islander end of the ice. We're 37 seconds into the third period.
There they are, playing it smart. They don't want the face-off coming out of the Islanders' end. And again, this period, as they have the two previous starts in the periods, Philadelphia put the Islanders back in their end of the ice and put the heat on. Tim Kerr scored at the 42nd mark of the first period. Tocchet scored at the 57-second mark of the second period.
Now Pat LaFontaine coming out for the New York Islanders. Randy Wood and Brian Trottier as line mates. Derek Laxdal went to the Islander dressing room during that second period. We understand he has a problem with an elbow.
It can happen in a high-intensity hockey game. This equipment sometimes shifts and you don't know it. His elbow pad could have been out of the way when he went into the glass. The board's down onto the ice. You get into trouble then without the protection where it's supposed to be, particularly when your arm is bent.
He was taking Alan Kerr's spot tonight. Kerr tried it in the warm-up. Wasn't so much the knee, we're told, as a bit of the muscle pull, and the sliding puck just wide. Fitzpatrick has crashed back into the goal mouth. You see Randy Wood and the Flyer player Tim Kerr tangled up and now separating.
I guess Laxdal will not return. What an outstanding game Ladle has had for Philadelphia. There's the feed. Look at Randy Wood as he ties up Tim Kerr. Wow. Knocks him down into the net. Suppose it's you're on your own in the third period. It's an overtime period with the Islanders having a 2-goal lead.
Kerr on the right, Linsman in the middle, Eklund on the left for Philadelphia. Fontaine steps in. Linsman puts the stick down. Fontaine beats him on the draw, and Riki stepped in to pick up the loose puck. It goes to Trottier. Samuelson pinching in on him. There's Tim Kerr as well. Riki pushes it outside the line. Flyers wait to get everybody back on side before making any move with it. Battle over to Samuelson. Now Tim Kerr is knocked away from him and ends up on the far side of the ice. And NASSAU got checked. Moves up with it and feeds it to the left side. This is Eklund. Sweeps it around LaFontaine. Tries to center one off the wing. Otto puts it in front. NASSAU can't get a stick on it. Fontaine chases it and then feeds it up to Randy Wood. Wood taken into the boards heavily by Samuelson, and the Islanders are forced back into their own end of the ice. A minute and a half has been played in the third period. The Islanders up 4-2 as Jeff Norton brings them over the line. Norton with a burst of speed on Murphy. Shoots, pad save by Hofford. On Maloney trying to get to it. Derek Smith trying to tie up Maloney. In comes Mick Vukota. Gets it back to Maloney, to Vukota, trying to come in out of the corner, puts it in the goal mouth, and Hofford makes the save. Vukota ends up in the deck. Hofford has held it long enough to get a face-off. Well, there's some more hockey going on in the area. Would you believe that there is a bantam team from the Soviet Union playing here on Long Island right now?
Yeah, I'd believe it, but I'm surprised.
A select team will play the Bantam A Arrows of this area at the Freeport Recreation Center on Monday night, 7:30. So any of you fans would like to see young Soviet players. We've seen some come to the NHL this year. We've seen a lot of touring teams, but a Bantam team, that's going to be what, 12, 14 years of age in that area? They'll be playing Monday night at the Freeport Recreation Center against the Bantam A Arrows.
Islanders against the Flyers this year. In the first game, they led 3-1 after 2, ended up tied. They were tied after 2 and lost 3-2 in the second game. They were tied 4-4 in the middle of the third, but lost that one 5-4. They were tied 3-3 in the middle of the third and ended up tied 5-5. They led 1-0 at the end of 2 and lost 3-2 in the fifth game. They led 4-3 in the middle of the third and lost 5-4. That's the way the Islanders have played Philadelphia this year.
Man. See if they can't get that turned around tonight with this 4-2 lead in the third period. And at Pittsburgh, the Penguins are on the power play for the 6th time in that game. saw Fitzpatrick slide out and scoop up a bouncing puck. Get a face-off in the Islander end of the ice.
I was talking about, with all the penalties that the Buffalo Sabres are taking in the hockey game, it must be a lot of heat on by the Pittsburgh Penguins. And yet, through 2 periods, 23-19, Buffalo is outshooting Pittsburgh.
Boy. Buffalo continues that game, killing off another Pittsburgh power play, nursing a 2-1 lead. 2 Sutter brothers on this draw once more. Ron turned on Brent, got it back, and the shot from Craven went wide of the net. David Volek takes it out of the corner, plays it to the point where it hit Murphy. Flatley is able to get it outside the line. Tocchet puts it back in. Flyers get everybody back on side. Now Baumgartner takes a hit and delivered the pass to Brent Sutter. Got turned around by Craven. Ron Sutter over the line with it. Feeds the right wing boards, and Brent Sutter is able to clear it out. Flyers recontrol at center ice. Here's Murphy turning. Across the line, Baumgartner feeds it to right wing for Brent Sutter. Now to Flatley, the pass it escapes, and Murphy ties up Flatley. Here's Brent Sutter with it. Sutter has 2 of the 4 Islander goals tonight. Ronstrand and Volek with the others. Ron Sutter stepping from behind the Flyer net with a pass to Rick Tocchet. Tocchet flips it up in the air, and over the glass, field goal. 17:04 remaining in the 3rd period. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
Thank you. And so there, these swiftly flowing currents create energy, which in turn creates power, which in turn brings electric light to every house in the valley.
That's very impressive, Calvin. Thank you, sir. But the contract calls for bringing Bud Light to the valley.
No wonder we're over budget.
Bud Light won't fill you up, never lets you down.
Which in turn keeps the Bud Light cold.
Because everything else is just a light.
There's the general manager of the Philadelphia Flyers, Bobby Clarke. Tocchet, who is trying to close in on 100 points. The last person to score 100 points, 75-76. That same Bob Clarke at 119. Klopp, Kerr, McLeish have all come close, but no one else has scored 100 points since then.
Bob Clarke watching both this game and looking up at a monitor constantly to watch what's going on in the game at Pittsburgh. And Larry Lemieux had a great opportunity, and he has just scored, we're told, on the power play, and that game is tied 2-2. Here's LaFontaine breaking in on the Flyer net. He's tripped up, goes into the goalpost heavily. There's going to be a penalty on the Flyer defenseman. Samuelson gets up and is upset with the official, but the Islanders are going to go to the power play. They lead 4-2. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
LaFontaine darts to the net. Shells Samuelson in desperation. He's got to do something. Here goes LaFontaine. He gets turned too slowly. He reaches out, takes the feet out from underneath. LaFontaine, bang, into the goaltender, into the goalpost. Samuelson could have easily hurt himself, but instead, the goalpost is hurt. That big guy banging into it like that knocked it flying, but he's in the penalty box, and the Islanders are going to the power play. When you think about it, Al Arbor didn't want any of the scores being posted up on the entertainment wall here. And I suppose when Buffalo goes ahead 2-1, it wouldn't be bad. But now that Pittsburgh's tied it up, that's extra pressure now on the Islanders. But they're going to the power play.
The Islanders leading 4-2, have the extra man out. Sutter got the puck to Pat LaFontaine, now to Doug Crossman, over to Jeff Norton. It up off the left wing boards here, feeds LaFontaine, it's broken up, and Kartner banks it off the boards up to Ron Sutter. Sutter steps over center ice, moves in on Crossman, nicely cut around him on the wide side here, trying to go outside, and now he finds a loose puck, gets to it a second time, and is checked by Jeff Norton. This is Doug Crossman up ahead. Harry King brings it over the line, drops it for Brent Sutter. Sutter's one in front. They score! LaFontaine!
How long are you going to keep him off the score sheet, moving the way he's moving? Rob Clark chaws away on his tobacco. Al Arbor looks on with great interest as his team has now taken a 3-goal lead. Drop pass by Derek King. Sutter spots LaFontaine in on the right wing side, feeds it through the legs of the defenseman, and Pat LaFontaine has directed it in. His 54th goal. He trails Jimmy Carson by 1 for the most goals scored by an American-born player in the NHL. Pat LaFontaine with his 54th goal of the season.
Well, you, our Sports Channel audience, selected him as our most valuable player as you watch the games this season here at the Coliseum and on Sports Channel. And listen to this reaction.
They're getting up. They appreciate what he has done for them and for his hockey team all season long.
15 minutes, 45 seconds left in the third period. The Islanders leading the Flyers 5-2. And Pittsburgh, that game is even 2-all. Islanders and their fans now have to be thinking, come on, Buffalo, come on, Sabres. Kerr puts the puck in the Islanders zone, and Gronstrand is there. Stepped in front of Sinisalo, has given it to Maloney, to the line, but not out. Not allowed it in. And he gets checked by Maloney. Maloney falling, the puck underneath him. Maloney has lost the glove and the stick. Here's Sinisalo from back of the net. It's put in the goal mouth and cleared away by McDonald. Maloney comes out across the line, dumping it into the Philadelphia end of the ice. In after it is Vakota, and he shot it high and wide of Hofford. Back to the left point. Maloney tied up there by Tim Kerr. Maloney is still able to dump the puck in toward the corner, and the Islanders go for a player change. Philadelphia goes home for the game tomorrow against Detroit. The Islanders are all finished after tonight. Rest before the playoffs, provided they get to the 4th position in the Patrick division. Here's David Volek bringing the puck over center ice. Across the Flyer line, trying to go in on Barron. Drops it back flatly. Lost an edge. Picks up the puck now. Murphy is right on him. He's given it to Sutter for a shot off the skates of Barron. Volek gets taken down in front of the net. Brent Sutter has 2 and had a great chance there, but now Lacombe is tripped up, and there will be a penalty against the New York Islanders. 14:20 remaining in the third period, excuse me. We'll look at the Mario Lemieux goal right after we pause for this message. Steve Smith with a rocket. That's blocked. Out come the Los Angeles Kings. Kennedy putting it on Gretzky's stick. He shoots. He scores!
Stall stops it.
Look out.
Down the ice.
He's got a chance. He's got a chance.
He's got it.
Pass to Chelios, picked off. Gilmore cutting in on one. He scores!
Peterson back on the point for Mario Lemieux. Now for Coffey. Peterson top of the circle. Lemieux shot, he scored!
More end-to-end action, a penalty to Baumgartner. In the other game, Mario Lemieux from Coffey and Johnson. That was the tying goal, but here it's Baumgartner drawing a penalty as Philadelphia come back with a scoring opportunity.
On the power play, Craven got one in front to Eklund, walks right in and can't slip it under the pads of Mark Fitzpatrick. Eklund moves it back. This is Murphy. Pelly Eklund lets a long shot go. Fitzpatrick has it. There's no further play.
Good stop by Mark Fitzpatrick. Tim Kerr standing right on top of him, trying to deflect the puck. As Philadelphia come very close, Eklund controlling the puck. He lifts it out into the front of the crease, waiting for Tim Kerr, who so often deflects it in. Kerr checked by Crossman. Here is Eklund as he picks up the puck in return and fires it. The Islander defense giving their goaltender a chance to make the save.
14:08, the time remaining in the third period. 1 minute and 48 seconds left in Baumgartner's tripping penalty. Kerr steps around Sutter on the draw. Tim Kerr can't play it through Sutter. Diddick moves it up the boards. Eklund trying to tie up the Islander captain. Diddick over to help out. There's Tim Kerr as well. Kerr poking at it, trying to get it out of the skates. Eklund is without a stick. Finally, it pops loose, and Tocchet plays it back to Murphy. Murphy in along the boards. Puts it back in the net. Rick Tocchet can't center it. Gets to it again. Plays it back to the point for Craven. Over to Tocchet. Cross ice. Murphy let one go immediately. One timed it wide of the net, and it's McDonald backhanding it down the ice.
What a nice play by McDonald. That is not an easy play he just made, particularly with heat on him. A little backhand flip.
Now the Flyers over the line, 4-on-2. Mellanby centers. Tocchet's shot went wide. Scott Mellanby and Tocchet end up back in the net. Center it back. Murphy lets one go. Off a man in front, and it's golfed down the ice by Don Maloney. 48 seconds remaining in the penalty to Baumgartner. Flyers trailing 5-2 at the Nassau Coliseum as Joe Ricci slams it down into the Philadelphia end of the ice, and it's picked up by Lottle. Lottle takes a look. Trottier moved in on him. Lottle able to make the play to Mellanby. Dumps it around the boards. Fitzpatrick slowed it up. Sinisalo gets to it, but Ricci reaches in, takes it away from him, plays it down the left wing boards. Trottier chases it. Out of the net comes Hofford. Hofford plays it back in the open goal, and that's Trottier in quickly, stepping in front of Kartner, and he played it just behind Flatley. Mellanby out at center with 10 seconds left in the power play. Got it to Linsman. Kartner put it over the line. Diddick clears it back out, and it's Flatley forcing Philadelphia to chase the puck. Flyers had 3 shots with the man advantage. And it's still a 5-2 Islander lead, and the crowd reacting. We have just over 12 minutes to play in the third period. Diddick knocked the puck away from Mellanby, but Ron Sutter comes in after it. Can't center. That hit Diddick. Ron Sutter feeds the point. Lottle with a long shot. Got through, and Fitzpatrick made the right pad save. King clears it to center. Down into the Philadelphia end of the ice it goes. Wood comes in to forecheck. He's out with LaFontaine and King. Higher defenseman. Lottle moves it through center, but behind Derek Smith, and Crossman just forces them back into their own zone again. Murphy with a pass to Smith. He steps over the Islander line. Smith moves it around Crossman and shot it wide. King comes to the left wing boards. The puck held in by Murphy. Ends up on the open side, and the Islanders have Flatley after it now. Going for a change after dumping the puck in. Here's Murphy turning in front of the net, and feeds it to Smith, intercepted by Volek. David Volek chased to the corner. Murphy right on him. In comes Sutter, the 2 Sutter brothers. Ron trying to kick it loose, gets it back on the stick, turns on Brent. Plays it up the boards, but Gronstrand pitches in. Runs into Ron Sutter as Volek turns at the point. Feeds Jeff Norton. Back to David Volek. Up the slot. Feeds it off. Brent Sutter to Volek, and he can't get a shot off. Puck seemed to roll up on him. Up in the corner. You see the double teaming there, only to have it come loose for Murphy. Volek takes into the boards. Here's Brent Sutter. Sutter steps from back of the net. There's a penalty call coming as Sutter holds the puck. Flyers will be shorthanded. Sutter's shot is deflected and blocked and covered by Hofford. Cross-checking penalty sends the Islanders to the power play with the score. The Islanders 5, the Flyers 2. Let's pause for a local break. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
New York's a great city where people work hard. It's got everything all by far. The buildings, the pace, the energy too. There ain't nothing in the city that you can't do. But when it comes to chillin' and found the fall, New Yorkers take the Knicks the biggest thrill of all. Pump it up for the jamming, cause you got to see the Knicks are only found on MSG.
You can advertise your business locally in Knicks playoff action. Call Time Warner City Cable Advertising today.
A good defensive move by Murray Barron, and then Murphy takes a cross-checking penalty, so the Islanders go to the power play. They've got a pretty comfortable lead with only 9 minutes and 18 seconds remaining in the hockey game. I wonder, Jiggs, at what point will Paul Holmgren decide to gamble and pull the goaltender?
Boy, that's a good question. That's a good sign, too, for an Islander fan. Bring on the Rangers, but they still need help. They need Buffalo to beat Pittsburgh, and would you believe Pittsburgh is back on the power play? Malarchuk has taken a penalty, the goalkeeper. The score tied 2-2 with 12 minutes and 3 seconds left in the third period there. Remember, a tie isn't a very good situation. tie would give Pittsburgh, if it finishes in a tie, 73 points. The Islanders would have 73 with a win tonight. But Pittsburgh would have 32 wins. The Islanders 31, and therein lies the difference. Tiebreaker would go to Pittsburgh because of more victories. They need a Buffalo win and an Islander win. Philadelphia can't have either one. Norton moves in on the left wing, centers it across off Derek King up high, and it's grabbed and held by Hofford. Samuelsson pushing at King as he went to the front of the net, but they separate without any damage.
Pittsburgh 1 for 6 on the power play, and as we had heard, they're back on the power play again.
Portions of this game have been brought to you by EAB. EAB, the bank for Long Islanders, where you belong. And Jiggs McDonald with Ed Westfall and Stan Fischler. As you look at Paul Holmgren, Natalie attired, spiked hair job, 43-year-old. Now Brent Sutter, who has 2 goals here tonight and a couple of assists. And his younger brother, Ron.
To face off against them. If the Islanders win this hockey game, Philadelphia is guaranteed last place. It'll be the first time that they've ever finished last in their division.
Well, that is some record, isn't it? Yep. They go home for a game, as I mentioned, tomorrow. They've lost 19 games on home ice, 17 wins, so they can't get to 500 at home. It'll be, I guess, only the 3rd time in their 23 seasons that they finished with a below 500 record on home ice. Now the Islanders with a 5-2 lead. Continuing with this power play is Derek King. Moves it back toward the blue line to Doug Crossman, into King. King to Norton. Norton picks it off the left wing boards, looks toward Crossman, feeds it the other direction to LaFontaine. Flyers have everybody well covered. LaFontaine just holding it. Now he gives it to Norton for a drive. Just missed as Hofford went down. Brent Sutter steps out of the corner. Tocchet picks him up as the pass went to Crossman. Now to King, back to Crossman. Dumps it into the corner. Kartner and Brent Sutter after it. Samuelsson there as well. It comes loose right into the goal mouth and is cleared out by Samuelsson. In goes Crossman. Trying to play it deeper to the corner. It's in King's skates. Now to Sutter at the side of the net. Feeds it back. Norton up the slot. Shoots, that's wide. LaFontaine had a handle on it and couldn't do anything with the puck. Hofford down, and that is mercy.
He had his weight on the back of his skates, Jake. The puck was out in front of him, and he couldn't shift his weight. He couldn't get to the puck.
Now the teams are at 6 aside, and the pass from King just missed LaFontaine. Samuelsson finished the check on the Islanders' Pat LaFontaine. In the meantime, Tocchet gives it to Ron Sutter. Sutter turning in the center ice zone. Drops it back to Samuelsson. Well, Samuelsson had it knocked loose by McDonough. Comes in off the left side with a shot off the pads of Hofford. Samuelsson from the back of the net. Just over 8 minutes to go. The Islanders leading 5-2 on home ice as McDonough picked it up again at center. Gave it to Vakota. Hofford takes it back in the net. Samuelsson tightly checked by Maloney. Now Eklund moves it out in front. Murray Barron gets it to the line. It's recovered there by Mick Vakota. The pass to Maloney. Has an opening. Shoots one. He scores!
They mounted up his 16th goal of the season, all but puts this game out of reach for Paul Holmgren and the Philadelphia Flyers, even if they were to pull the goaltender. Maloney jumps on a loose puck across the blue line, alive and kicking. I guess so. Hofford made a kick but couldn't get to it. Mick Vakota there. Passes it to Maloney. There's the shot. Hofford got a piece of it, but not enough. Look at him hang his head as he sees the puck go in behind him and across the blue line. Don Maloney has been steady for the Islanders all season long, and that shot, which Hofford will tell you he should have picked off, hit his glove and trickled in behind him. 6-2 now. The Islanders are not really in trouble as far as this hockey game's concerned. Their attention will slowly start to turn to what's going on in Pittsburgh.
And I believe in our last report it was still 2-2 between the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Buffalo Sabres. Again, I remind you, for the Islanders to make the playoffs, Buffalo has to beat Pittsburgh. The game could not end in a tie and help the Islanders. It could not end in a Pittsburgh win and help the Islanders. And now the Flyers are making a goaltending change for the second time tonight. Each has given up 3 goals. Pete Peters back in the net. 12:05 of the third period. He had faced 19 shots before being relieved at the 3:20 mark of the second period. 3 goals on 19 shots. After 3 goals on 15 shots against his replacement, he's back to work. Rache handles the puck at center ice, backhanding it into the Flyer zone. Samuelson plays it away from Randy Wood, has given it to Linsman. Fans begin to sing Goodbye Flyers. Close harmony, isn't it? Here's Lacombe. Put it in the goal mouth. There's a delayed penalty call coming. 7:28 remaining in the third period. The Islanders lead 6-2. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
If you just ask for a light beer,
Give me a light.
you never know what you'll get.
Thoughts? No, actually, Bud Light.
So if you want the clean, fresh taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, ask for Bud Light.
Yours?
No, because everything else
Give me a light. Showtime!
is just a light.
Jeff Norton gets the penalty. The Islanders with some heat on by the Philadelphia Flyers, but it's really more a matter of just running out the clock and keeping Philadelphia off the score sheet. Although with a 6-2 lead, there isn't too many places. There's Norton. He's got a hold of a stick. He's got a hold of Linsman's stick. That gets him a penalty for holding. Philadelphia go to the power play. But even if Philadelphia were to get a goal here and make it 6-3, the Islanders are not in a lot of trouble. Although Philadelphia has picked up the play here lately, and they've been playing in the Islanders' end for the last 2 or 3 shifts.
Now they get the puck back to the point to Murphy. Crossman reaches in to knock it away from him. Philadelphia will set up the power play at center ice. Crossman and Rieke on defense. Up front, Flatley and Brett Sutter for the Islanders. That's Eklund, checked by Flatley as he went back in the net, and here's Doug Crossman. Crossman out on the right side, flips it down the boards into the Flyer zone. Pete Peters leaves it. Murphy. To Kerr. Now it's picked up by Linsman. Running to the left on Sutter, trying to go wide, and he ends up on the boards. The puck loose, pushed back toward the line. Lotto held it in with a pass to Linsman. Now to Murphy. Murphy looking for an opening, and a shot blocked by Rieke. Murphy gets to it again, and it's knocked away by Joe Rieke, and that will end up deep in the Philadelphia zone. Norton sitting out a holding penalty. Penalty clock is not posted at the moment, so we have no idea how much time is left in that, and it's Diddick slamming the puck down the right side. Now 1 minute remaining in the penalty, and Flatley has dumped it in. Pete Peters shovels it around the boards. In after it is Patrick Flatley stepping around Craven. He's put it back in the net. Peters to Lotto. Lotto up the middle of the ice with that pass. Sinisalo steps over the line, took a look at Diddick, tried to go wide on him, and is checked on the boards. Still able to hold it in and pass a little deeper to Craven, however. It's knocked off Craven's stick. Gerald Diddick is there. Turned it over on the boards. Sinisalo handling it. Under 6 minutes to go as Kartner parks at the blue line. Gave it to Ilka Sinisalo. Gets in the circle. He's fed it in deep. Craven steps back to the net. Murphy comes in to join the play, and it's shot wide by Rick Tocchet. Sinisalo in the far corner, looks toward the point. He's given it to Craven. Craven is checked. Finley got to him. Here's Murphy back in the net toward Tocchet. Rick Tocchet centers. That's broken up by Diddick, and Sinisalo waited for the pass. Now Tocchet steps off the boards. Beats Murphy. Murphy lets it go, and it's deflected wide of the net. Diddick knocked down, able to hand pass the puck to McDonald. Norton just out of the penalty box, gets to it at the Flyer line, and that makes the play offside. 5 minutes, 21 seconds remaining in the third period.
7.5 minutes left in the other game at Pittsburgh, and it's still tied at 2 apiece.
See the note on the Flyers missing the playoffs for the last time in 1971-72. Fred Schiro's first year as coach at Philadelphia. A couple of rookies that year by the names of Schultz and Zaleski. And they would go on to win the Stanley Cup in 1974, again in 75.
Yes, and in 1979, that same Fred Schiro took the New York Rangers to the finals. John Davidson, goaltender that season.
The Islanders and the Rangers last met in a playoff series in 1984. Will they meet again this coming week? And the Islanders have done their part. It's up now to the final score in that game at Pittsburgh, and they're still 2-2 late in the third period. And if it stays that way, we will join their game at the conclusion of this game so that you're right up to date, see whatever happens. You know that the Islanders are going to go to their dressing room and to the players' lounge and watch what happens there. We're going to watch as well, provided, of course, that the score remains the same or Buffalo takes a lead or we have time to do it.
Yes, as long as it goes to overtime, their game winding down somewhat close to this hockey game. Just to give you an idea of how things have gone for Philadelphia this season, remember Volek Cologne?
Who?
Volek Cologne. Remember the Cologne?
Volek Cologne.
Yeah, didn't you hear it?
Yeah, the
remember?
aftershave, sure.
That's right. They introduced it last February. It has been pulled from the shelves. The $22.50 Volek Cologne has been yanked from the shelves.
Any idea why?
It wasn't selling.
No, you're kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. Listen, the team's not winning. Anything that you're trying to merchandise isn't going to sell. Pete Peters, is he going to be able to sell himself to the Philadelphia Flyers for next year?
Good question. So many uncertainties. Flyers making a run for it, even though it appeared that they had given up on the season and were going with a youth movement, and all the deals they made was prior to and at the trading deadline.
Out on the ice now, Keith Acton. Will he be around? Will Linsman be around?
Should be some off season.
I'll tell you
not
one.
only for Philadelphia, almost every team in the league. You look at the parity, everybody else would be trying to make a deal that one player, that extra little jump, that extra guy, the big winger. Here's Randy Wood trying to cut in off the wing. Couldn't do it, and we have less than 5 minutes to go in the third period at the Nassau Coliseum. The Islanders 6, the Flyers 2, as Lionel shoots from the blue line. Wide, Mark Fitzpatrick. Fontaine gets it to the line, held in, long shot. Fitzpatrick got a piece of it, picks it up as it comes off the boards and holds on, and then Acton and Morton push and skate away from one another.
I'll tell you one player that you want to keep an eye on is Ladle, the defenseman for the Philadelphia Flyers. He's had as much ice time as Mark Fitzpatrick, and he has been very good as a defenseman for Philadelphia.
Now both teams going to make some changes. Chance to remind you that when you're having good times with good friends, please use good sense and drink responsibly. Please know when to say when. A reminder from Budweiser.
A lot of people wonder when they look at the Patrick division, and particularly when they look at the Flyers and the Islanders. The goaltender's out now with 4 minutes and 11 seconds. So Paul Holmgren decides, why not? I'm down by 4. Let's see what I can do now, or let's see what the team can do. I was talking about the Islanders and the Flyers. In a way, you know, they're victims of their own successes. Their draft picks have not been that good over the past 8 to 10 years because the teams have been that successful.
That's an interesting point. A lot of people look to the draft, and that first round pick is expected to come in and play within a year or so. But it's what so many teams do with their third, fourth, fifth round picks these days.
That's a good point, Jiggs. And you know that the Philadelphia Flyers have their own first round pick, then they have 3 second round picks and 3 third round picks coming up this draft.
And with their goaltender on the bench for an extra attacker, they're swarming in the Islanders zone, only to have Diddick pick up the puck and shoot it down the ice. Raven will go back to touch it. That's an icing call and forces a face-off in the Islanders zone. 3 minutes and 55 seconds left in the third period.
I had asked Paul Holmgren if this game was tied or close to tied, what was going to happen with if he happened to know the score of the other game. I'm sure he's privy to that. Had Buffalo been ahead of Pittsburgh, would he settle for a tie in this kind of a hockey game, knowing that the Islanders were going to pull their goaltender, or would they end up both pulling their goaltender? I thought maybe this was going to be the game where I'd see a goaltender change on the fly.
Not tonight, I'm afraid. Little less than 4 minutes to go in the third period. Linsman on the draw, but everybody too quick. Puck was still in the hand of linesman Ron Asseltine. You talk about next season. There's not only the teams involved, but the officiating staff as well. Is it Dave Newell's farewell season? Is there a couple of other changes? So many things that are going to happen. Of course, the nets will be moved out at foot from the end boards next season. We know that's going to happen. Flatley with an empty net has given it to Trache. Here comes 5-0. No, he can't get the 501st on that play as Craven takes him down. Trache trying to pass Lanny McDonald. The Islanders still controlling the puck. The penalty being delayed. And here's LaFontaine with an empty net. He misses. Trache gets to it. Feeds it back toward the blue line. Diddick will bring it out into the center ice zone. The pass to Flatley. Flatley waits. Moves it up to LaFontaine. Goes cross ice to Brent Sutter. Sutter toward an empty net. He had the hat trick there, but Craven came across to block it. And now the penalty call against Philadelphia sets up a New York Islander power play. They lead the Flyers 6-2. You're watching New York Islanders hockey on SportsChannel.
Mobile knows your time is valuable, so we're offering express lube service. Just drive into one of our participating stations. You never need an appointment. In just 15 minutes, you'll get an oil change, lube, filter, and a safety check, all at a great price. So remember, there's only one place to get mobile express lube service, and that's expressly at participating mobile stations.
On your monitor now, on your screen at home at least, is a game between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. Well, it was. That was down in the Islander Players Lounge. Brad Lauer, Dean Chenault,
Alan Kerr, Richard Pilon, all watching the hockey game. Murray Craven in the penalty box here. A hooking penalty is Brian Trache. Took aim for his 501st goal, but was hooked, knocked down. So a power play to the Islanders.
Just in case Pittsburgh should win or the game end in a tie and the Islanders don't get to play again next week, this should turn out to be our final telecast of the season. That's, I know, a big F, and we don't want it to happen for one moment, but there's so many people in our offices at SportsChannel that we need to say thank you to. People like Margaret Martin, Jella Gresta, Leslie Howlett, just to mention a couple. Angie McMullen, what a job they've done back of the scenes. People you never hear of or hear us refer to them that often. Barbara Rios, Diane Ferris, Lorraine Rossi, Carol Ruda, Tina Nelson, Ann Preby. We appreciate the efforts. And even Doug Field that chips in. He does all those promotional spots along with Steve Mars, Nancy Picaria, Bonnie, Fran Frobe, and Amy Buckingham. So many of the gals and guys back at head office, as they say.
They make it all so nice when we go there. Anything you ask for.
Then the crew who work so diligently night after night, day after day, getting the equipment ready, the cameras, the tape machines, just in case we don't get the chance to overlook it when the playoffs do begin. Our deepest thanks, our sincere thanks for a job well done. And of course, there's Dan Riggin, who's directed our games this season. Kevin Meininger, our producer. There's LaFontaine trying for the 55th, and it wouldn't go. 1 minute and 58 seconds. John McComb, Mark Topaz. There's so many other folks that if I get started here, I'm not going to be able to remember everybody. And even with 1.5 minutes or 1:58 left, there isn't enough time to thank everyone.
And if you don't get them all in, then they recognize who they are that we're trying to talk about. As Paul Holmgren thinks about his long and not so productive season, not just his hockey team. 30 wins, 39 losses, and 10 ties, and they've got another game. We switched to the game in Buffalo. That's Buffalo in the dark uniforms. And
just over 2 minutes remaining in 2:32, I believe, as we switch to look at the monitor down in the Islander dressing room. The players reacting. Buffalo, that was O'Gilney, I believe, with a chance. Now we're back to the live action here. The game 2-2. The Islanders need a Buffalo win. The tie is no good. The Islanders have taken care of their own end of business. A 6-2 lead over the Philadelphia Flyers. Peters is still out on the ice as LaFontaine handles the puck in the Islanders zone with a pass to Diddick. Up the right side to David Volek. Now to Jeff Finley. Finley dumps it in. LaFontaine in after it. Peters out of the net, plays it around the boards through Brent Sutter, through Volek. It comes back to Diddick. 5 seconds remaining in the penalty to Craven as Finley dumps it in deep for LaFontaine. No shots with the man advantage. The Islanders comfortable, up 6-2. Not getting the needed help from Buffalo at the moment. Linsman is checked by Brent Sutter. The puck ends up in the Flyer zone. The final 60 seconds of this game in the regular season for the New York Islanders tick down. The crowd reacting here at the Nassau Coliseum as Don Maloney handles the puck. The pass to McDonald. Shoots from just inside the line. A stretching save by Peters. And Ron Sutter for the Flyers has given it to Murphy. One fact, at this point, the Flyers cannot make the playoffs. They are eliminated with this Islander win. They go home to face Detroit tomorrow in a meaningless game. Two teams that won't go to the postseason party. Ron Sutter trapping the pass. Now it's cleared up with 28 seconds left. The Islanders salvage something out of the season series with Philadelphia. Big win here at the Nassau Coliseum tonight. But will it be as big as they hope? Sutter barreled in. The pass, or the shot at least, blocked by Fitzpatrick. And the Flyers will pick it up in their own zone. The final 10 seconds ticking off here. We're going to go to Pittsburgh. We're going to give you the end of that game. So important to the Islanders. This one is history. 6-2. The Islanders finish off the season with a victory on home ice. Mark Fitzpatrick gets to 500 hockey. 19 wins, 19 losses, 5 ties, 3 shutouts on the season. The Flyers are out. The Islanders need a Buffalo victory to be in. We're going to go to Pittsburgh. Don Chevrier is on hand with the coverage of that game. We're still tied.